Hi Aquarius, my name is Audrey Alison. Thanks for joining me for your March 2017 forecast. I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot deck. Looks like this. I've been attracted to it for the last 2 months, so we'll see how it goes. I love the simplicity of the stars on the back, but I love the artistry. I love how the cards don't have boundaries. They just go right to the edges. No borders. No borders. Okay. So how are you? This is a very productive month. There's a lot of Aries energy for this month, and I think that's going to work for you. So here's what I have for you. The first aspect I wanted to address is on the 2nd of March. And due to Jupiter's retrograde through June 9th, it's allowing this opposition between Jupiter and Uranus to occur at an exact degree mark, 22 degrees. Uranus will be in Aries on the 2nd, and Jupiter will be in Libra, opposing it at 22 degrees of Libra. So this pull, this tug of war, we saw this exist around January 21st with the March that we had, the opposition, the abundance, the amount of power behind it, and the amount of people, which is Jupiter, and the sudden shock, no one expecting that kind of turnout, hey, with Uranus there. So this tug of war, this opposition for Aquarius occurs in the 3rd house of communications, where you're holding Uranus, and the 9th house of higher education, political systems, belief systems, foreign travel, global awareness, global travel. Aquarian, you might find around that time that there is a sudden invitation to go abroad with Uranus opposing Jupiter between the 3rd and the 9th. Local travel versus going the distance is going to be the theme here for some of you. For others, it could be the vehicle itself, and that's the 3rd house, needing to adjust something with the car, or the relationship with your siblings could be occurring here, because that's also 3rd house. This could be about school and study, and do you take the local classes or maybe the after-hour community classes versus going to university? There could be a decision made in that area of 3rd house of local study, 9th house of higher certification. This could apply to property as well. What is close to you in the 3rd house, local, and what is further away in the 9th house of property. So it's going to play out differently, but that date, there should be some kind of insight, news even, because of Uranus bringing in this sudden message, the sudden electricity, which it governs. On the 4th of March, Venus will retrograde at 13 degrees of Aries, and this is also in that 3rd house. So Venus will retrograde here through April 15th, and then from April 28th through June 6th, we'll be going direct through this 3rd house again. So you're getting a double taste of Venus in your communication sector. So what Aquarian has to say, sell, speak about, people are drawn to Aquarians and the nature of their speech. And there's a soothing vibe to Aquarians' tone of voice, to their delivery of a message. And Venus, being attraction and soothing, smooth energy, she's also abundance, and I'm sorry, not abundance, she's wealth, because she gets that from the Taurian energy. So there could be some kind of earnings from public speaking. There could be editing jobs, or maybe people are paying you to write, to produce something in the 3rd house of writing, communications, literature. I feel like some Aquarians could be getting a manual written is what I'm hearing, which is bizarre because I wasn't thinking about a manual, but maybe some of you are writing instructional manuals that need to get out. This is the time to get writing with Venus in the 3rd, and having her review here could work for people, journalists, even people memorizing lines actors and actresses, things that need, any type of speech that needs to be remembered, studying could be very beneficial at that time. On the 9th of March, Mars enters the sign of Taurus. So this is the 4th house of home and foundation and the house of mother. So Mars is action, energy, stimulation, and even aggravation and aggression. So watch the relationship with mother and how you're speaking, but also watch aggressiveness around the home. Oh, when Mars is in the 4th, you want to really watch using knives in the home, cutting things, sharp instruments Mars rules that, and blood. So watch cutting bagels in the morning, watch scissors, anything that's sharp that you're working with in the 4th house of environment. This could also attract men into the home, Mars ruling the male figure, into the 4th house of feminine. So there could be something there, visitors, masculine energy in the home, in the foundation. On the 12th of March, we have our full moon at 22 degrees of Virgo in the 8th house of shared resources for Aquarius. So there could be an ending to either a shared funding or an investor, or there could be an end to an intimate connection that you're putting aside right now, you're putting behind you. With the full moon bringing illumination in the 8th house, you're seeing the intimacy clearly for those of you involved. There is an awakening with a full moon and an unveiling. So pay attention to the intuition 2.5 days before the 12th and after. On the 13th, Mercury moves into Aries, into this 3rd house, now conjunct Venus, conjunct Uranus, and Mars had just left there. So this 3rd house is what it's about for Aquarius. You really want to say what you feel. You want to say what you mean. If there's been something that you're not saying, a repressed speech, this will come out in March, because Mercury governs the 3rd house naturally, and that's where he'll be for Aquarius. So having Mercury in the sector that he's so comfortable in, I don't think you're going to be able to keep an Aquarius quiet, and there's something that needs to be expressed in this month. There's a quiet week that I'm really loving. I'm digging this. I'm going to really be taking it easy. We don't have a lot of transits at all happening from the 13th to the 20th, and it's the last week before the cardinal ingress. So spring, vernal equinox in the northern hemisphere, and the southern equinox, the autumnal equinox in the southern hemisphere. So taking that week from the 13th to the 20th before it's time of action and implementation is important. It is a week of rest that week. And then on the 20th, it's the first day of spring, and the sun then enters Aries, conjunct Venus, conjunct the planet of Mercury and Uranus. And this is about fresh starts and new beginnings. This is the first day of our astrological year in a number 1 year. So it's a catalyst time. I don't want any Aquarians or anyone to miss the initiating energy around this day, because whatever you do focus on this day has the tendency to gain roots and establish a momentum for 9 years. So it's spectacular to focus on career and earnings, personal development, body, routine, and regimen. But the sun is in your 3rd house. Write it down, what you want to accomplish. You above any sign, because you are ruled by air and the swords, which can be writing, but you're also having all this energy in the 3rd house of writing and communication. So if you want certain things to stick, Aquarius, I would write down a list of 3 to 12 things. I try to keep it in increments of 3, 6, 9, 12, that you want to see manifest in a full year cycle, because your power with words is incredible in March. So, and written word. So use that little manifestation trick to your benefit. Just keep your vision of where you want to head, because magic exists in just the vision you hold here. That's how you manifest. And we're all living proof of that. Now on the 27th, we have our new moon here as well, 7 degrees of Aries in the 3rd house of communication. What is up? This, fresh start in the 3rd house, new modes of transportation for Aquarians, new relationship with sibling, new neighborhoods in the 3rd house. Local travel around the 27th would be brilliant. Come back before mid-April, before the Mercury retrograde. But this is a great month. And for those writers, filmmakers, editors, public speakers, entrepreneurial energy too, because you need to be in contact with people, connections, clients. That's all 3rd house. This is going to be great. It's great for business. It's great for getting things done. And if there's been a hold on something, make sure you push through prior to the cardinal ingress, the first day of spring. I say it's cardinal ingress because there are cardinal signs in astrology, and Aries is the leading cardinal sign. Then we have Cancer and Libra and Capricorn. There's cardinal signs, there's mutable signs, and there's fixed signs. So this is cardinal energy, which is a time of action. It's the time of wands and fire in the tarot. So let's see what comes up for Aquarius. For the month, I'm thoroughly shuffled here, and if you'd like to read with me, I read all through the week. I book about 7 days out unless I get a cancellation. And you can go to audreyalison.com and select your reading length, and I'll get back to you in an email. Here's your first card. Wands, fire. I mean, it is what it is. It's I love it. I love when everything is just really synchronistic and cohesive. The 7 of Wands. Now, with action can come competition. And this card is suggesting he's on top and he's fending off a few of the trolls down below. Lord knows we got them. Now, it's not a complete card of victory yet, but we haven't gotten to the rest of the cards, and I haven't even turned them over yet. But what I'm feeling is that you'll have a victory in this spread, whether that's the Ace of Swords, the 6 of Wands, or Chariot. So let's see what comes up, because, when people push forward, everyone wants a little piece. And that's what I feel like this is, maybe taking credit where credit isn't due as well for Aquarius. This is not the first time this card's come up in a reading. The 4 of Cups, and I'm getting that this is a symptom of release, because it is a card of emotional sadness, and the word forlorn came up to me earlier. And since we are in this time of endings right before a fresh 9-year start, that month or that week between the 13th and the 20th could be a time of emotional release right after that full moon. So if you're feeling like you're missing someone, you're nostalgic, your energy is kind of focused in the past and it's hard for you to stay present, please look to the 20th to stay in the current, in the present, and don't bring a lot of that energy in with you to March. 6 of Wands. I have the chills and I'm about to cry. Victory is here, and I just said that. Crazy. I'm so emotional right now just with that experience of that card coming through. Victory is yours, Aquarius. So don't worry about what's keeping you sad maybe or repressed, and don't worry about these people. These crickets don't stand a chance when you get honor, respect, accolades, reward with this card here, the 6 of Wands, which is totally one of the 3 that I just mentioned. Let's see what this last one is. No, well, still, fire. This is the time of fire. These are the wands. And Aquarius, even though you are more of the Queen of Swords, the King and Queen of Swords, this is who you need to channel in this month. Heed that advice, because this is a month of action, and the Queen of Rods gets it done. There's not a lot of cards compared to her other than the other fire individuals, the fire court cards that get stuff done, like the Queen. She's creative. She's entrepreneurial. She doesn't need a lot of help. She's direct. There's a Mars energy to this card. Take action, because victory and success is yours. Ooh, I have the chills. This is a brilliant combo to receive as an outcome, starting with this energy. Some Aquarians might think that more people are trying to get something from them than they actually are. Because you can get stuck in an emotional wound. Aquarians can get stuck in an emotional wound, is the message. And I wouldn't normally say that about Aquarians because they're driven by the mind and the swords, but you know, you're human too. So this full moon could get you a little bit emotional in that 8th house of intimacy. And just look forward. Look forward to the cardinal ingress and take action on your endeavors, because there is success here. And I'm so happy about that 6 of Wands, because these cards speak to me, and doing this as a profession, it can be it can be a lonely profession. So when the cards show me the validation that I mentioned prior, it gets me emotional, because I know what I'm doing here is purposely for a reason, and I'm just excited to share the messages with you when I get them. So I'm wishing you a sweet March, a beautiful day. Remember, the sky is limitless, so reach for the stars.